Hi, and welcome to my review of the 2018 movie Andhadhun, which was directed by Sriram Raghavan and stars Ayushmann Khurrana and also Tabu. So this movie I really enjoyed. In the movie itself, you've got Khurrana's character, who is Akash Saraf. He's a keen piano player who actually pretends to be blind in a very unorthodox method of improving his skills on the piano. So obviously you can sort of see that's a pretty extreme measure to go to. And obviously this leads to some pretty interesting encounters and scenarios along the way, which set the scene for the basis of the movie itself. So you've got Akash, and he, by pretending he's blind, he actually he's forced to act in a very reserved manner throughout the film, and this also plays a large part in how things proceed, because he's able to fool everyone that he's blind, except for there's a local youngster who is onto it, but this in itself doesn't play a huge consequence in the movie, but it's just used to show that, hey, look, you might have fooled them, but not everyone has been fooled by your charade. So it actually leads to a chance encounter with the character of Sophie, who's played by Radhika Apte, and she then becomes the love interest in the film. And of course, this also is quite an unorthodox story, because you've got someone who is perceived to be blind by the love interest, but in actual fact isn't. So by the fact that she thinks he's blind, she will act in a way that she in effect doesn't know that he can see what she's doing. And that in itself, it's interesting to see the interaction and the mannerisms and the sort of the subtle nuances on screen that they convey in the storyline. And what happens is, along the way, he actually witnesses a serious crime take place, but initially he seemingly is able to escape due to the fact that the perpetrator of this crime thinks that he's blind. So they see him as, basically no threat to them getting away with the crime. However, as the movie goes on, as the storyline moves forward, this is no longer the case. And you've got Tabu, who gives it's a chilling, like ice cold performance as Simi, who's the main villain in the movie. And when I was watching this movie, I was like, there's certain scenes in there where you've just got that absolute absence of emotion, just as she does some pretty evil stuff. And those few particular scenes, you're reminded of just what a fantastic actress she is, and what a great job she can do. And you see Akash throughout the film. He generally is that pretty quiet sort of character, and he doesn't want people to know that he can see. But you do at various times see him show a full spectrum of emotions, particularly with the developments towards the end of the movie. As the plot sort of gets towards its end point there, he does get a bit more emotional. But as you can expect, there's also a few obstacles along the way with Sophie, with his love interest, with what happens when it's found out that actually maybe he knows more than we first thought he knows about this crime he's committed, about the crime that we've committed from Simi's point of view. And so once she starts coming for him, there's a few sort of very tense standoffs where neither really wants to show how much they know about the other. So it's a really well written movie. It's nice to see it's got that different sort of premise to sort of any other movie I'd seen, just by the fact of how he's pretending to be blind. So, what issues will he find himself in? And those issues, those obstacles, that sort of thing, they're illustrated in the movie really well. It was a story that was told very nicely, and it's got good character development, and along the way you see sort of that despite the crime that's happened being the main focus, you've also got the nice byline of his romance with Sophie, and that sort of brings that variety, and it keeps the movie moving along at a good pace. So I really enjoyed it, and Ayushmann Khurrana, he does a really good job. Another really good performance. His performance, as well as Tabu's performance, they're both fantastic. The movie, it's directed, it's produced very well, and all in all, it's just fantastic.